Hey guys, my name is Matimo, and today I'm sad to say that the SRAW in Battlefield 4 has been nerfed pretty hard. We knew this day was coming, we knew that this was in the patch notes for a very long time now, it's been on the CTE forever, but a lot of us were crossing our fingers, much like last patch, that they weren't gonna add it in at the last second. A lot of people love the SRAW, I included, but then there's also a lot of other people out there that thought this was a well-deserved nerf. And so what have they done to this SRAW? What are these large sweeping changes? Well, the biggest difference is that they nerfed its turn speed hard. You can no longer make last minute adjustments as easily as you would before this patch. You see a helicopter out in the distance, it's gonna be a lot harder to snipe him out of the sky, especially if he's a good pilot and he's moving around and he's making a lot of adjustments in the air. Not only that, but it no longer has the ability to do loops up in the sky. I'm sure you've seen this on occasion where you'll see a SRAW just doing circles up in the air. You don't know why it's doing circles, but then every so often it will slam into a vehicle, slam into a helicopter, securing a kill. I always felt like these were Battlefield moments. It's those random epic times that happen in the game that make the game unique, but apparently DICE thought this was a little bit too good, and this is one of the things that they were trying to combat. And so no longer are you gonna see these tight pinpoint-like turns on the SRAW anymore, and it's more of just a lethargic moving rocket now flying through the air. Another big difference is that it can't travel as far anymore. Here is a perfect example. I'm aiming for that helicopter. Granted, he's out there. He's a fair distance away, but before the patch, it would have been easy, or not easy, but you could have hit it if you lined it up properly. But now you'll notice that the rocket explodes even before I'm able to get to the helicopter. Personally, I felt like if you were able to snipe a helicopter way out in the distance like that, then you deserve the kill. It's not easy. The helicopter has to be slowly moving. You have to have a lot of luck on your side and a lot of skill if you're gonna be able to even attempt to line up one of these shots. And when you did, I felt like you deserved to get that nice fireball explosion. DICE didn't agree with me. They felt like it was too good at this point, and so you will not be able to get those long range shots anymore. It's simply going to be impossible because it doesn't travel as far. One change that's actually been kind of nice though is that they've increased the size of the reticle. You may have noticed throughout today's video that I can just simply see more in front of me. The black border isn't as obtrusive as it was in the past, and this was DICE's compromise for nerfing its turn speed. They wanted to make sure that the SRAW user, when they were aiming down sight, could still see their vehicle that they were going after, but also see the rocket fly through the air. So that is one saving grace with this patch. I mean, you could say it was a buff, but with all the other changes, all in all, this has been a very healthy nerf to the SRAW. And so what does all this mean in the grand scheme of things? How is this going to impact the gameplay? How is this going to impact the players that normally would have liked to use this rocket? And is it completely useless at this point? Well, I wouldn't go as far to say that it's useless, but it's going to take a lot of adjustment on the part of the player who normally like to use the rocket, and it may be too much of an adjustment, and they may switch on over to the RPG, the SMAW, and honestly switch on over to the Stingers. If you're a chopper pilot, get ready to get locked on like crazy. Get ready for Stinger hell, because it really is the only reliable way to now drop these vehicles. It's still possible to use the SRAW to snipe a helicopter, like hopefully I've illustrated that in today's video, but if you're going against a pilot that knows what they're doing and they're amazing and they're using the new movement system of those vehicles to dodge your rockets, it is now almost impossible to hit them. Like, you need to get incredibly lucky with the SRAW if you want to land one of those shots. And so now it's to the point that, yeah, it is possible, but if you're going against a reliable or a good pilot, then you're gonna need to switch on over to Stinger missile, and I have a feeling that the vast majority of the Battlefield community is not gonna be even bothering with the SRAW anymore, and Stingers are gonna become much more prevalent on the battlefield. One thing that took me by surprise is that it also impacts tank combat quite heavily. I did not think the SRAW nerf was gonna have all that much of a difference when you were going against an enemy tank. I thought, okay, sure, tanks can't move that quickly. Yes, they nerfed the turn speed, but I just thought that because those vehicles are slow and cumbersome, that they wouldn't be able to dodge the rocket. Boy, was I wrong. Now, if you're trying to snipe an enemy tank that's way out there and they're doing a lot of movement, they realize that you're trying to snipe them, it's not easy to predict where they're going and to hit some of these shots. Maybe it's just because I'm I'm new to it, and maybe once I put more and more hours into the game, that I will get adjusted to the new turn speed, and that's bound to happen, and these shots will become easier. But at least right now, if a tank knows you're going for them, not only are they going to be able to shoot at you like they could in the past, because you have to leave yourself exposed, you have to be staring at the tank, you have to have line of sight on them to land the shot, but now if they are moving around, it's going to be harder just to land the shot. And so in general, these changes have significantly hindered the viability of this gadget. It's not useless. Hopefully I've shown throughout today's video that you can still get some impressive kills with it, but for the vast majority of SRAW users, the average player, they're gonna gravitate on over to the other rockets. They're gonna use the SMAW, the RPG, and the Stinger because they're just a lot easier to use, they're way more reliable, and you don't have to have amazing skill to land some of these kills. But I'd love to know what you guys think about the nerf. Are you loving it because you hated people sniping constantly with the SRAW? You thought it was way too powerful in the past? And you think that this puts it in line with all of the other weapons, or are you disappointed like me and you think that this is a very sad day? Let me know down below. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and so until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.